Okay, here's a detailed briefing document summarizing the key themes and ideas from the provided excerpts of the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. This document summarizes key concepts from the provided excerpts of the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. The core theme revolves around personal effectiveness achieved through a shift from dependence to independence and then to interdependence, all rooted in character ethics based on universal principles. The document highlights the importance of self-awareness, proactivity, vision, personal integrity, and empathy in building effective relationships and achieving a fulfilling life. The problem of reactive living and lack of meaning. Many people feel busy but question if their actions are making a long-term difference. They experience envy when others succeed and feel unease despite outward control, suggesting a deeper sense of dissatisfaction and a lack of internal validation. The provided excerpt starts with personal questions. I'm busy, really busy. But sometimes I wonder if what I'm doing will make a difference in the long run. I'd really like to think there was meaning in my life, that somehow things were different because I was here. This highlights a feeling of not living in alignment with their true values. The power of self-awareness and paradigm shifts. Humans have the unique ability to be self-aware, to think about their own thought processes. This allows us to evaluate our paradigms and learn from others and our own experiences. We are not our feelings. We are not our moods. We are not even our thoughts. The very fact that we can think about these things separates us from them and from the animal world. This separation from our immediate impulses and feelings allows us to have agency and change our habits and outlook on life. Changing our paradigms, the way we see the world, is crucial for growth and effectiveness, and it can be achieved through knowledge, skills, and desire. By working on knowledge, skill, and desire, we can break through to new levels of personal and interpersonal effectiveness as we break with old paradigms that may have been a source of pseudo-security for years. This involves moving from an outside-in to an inside-out approach which prioritizes principles and values over circumstances. Dependence, independence, and interdependence. The journey to effectiveness progresses through stages. Dependence, relying on others for needs, physical, emotional, intellectual. Independence, self-reliance and personal responsibility. I can do it. Interdependence, collaborating with others for greater success. We can do it. Dependent people need others to get what they want. Independent people can get what they want through their own effort. Interdependent people combine their own efforts with the efforts of others to achieve their greatest success. True effectiveness comes through the synergistic power of interdependence based on mutual trust, respect, and understanding. Proactivity and taking responsibility. Proactivity means responding to situations based on values rather than reacting to impulses or external circumstances. It involves acknowledging mistakes, learning from them, and correcting them rather than self-justification and cover-ups. The proactive approach to a mistake is to acknowledge it instantly, correct it, and learn from it. This literally turns a failure into a success. It also entails keeping promises, setting goals, and developing an internal sense of integrity. Begin with the end in mind and the first creation. Begin with the end in mind means starting with a clear vision of desired outcomes, the picture of your life as a whole, and making decisions aligned with those values, instead of being caught up in urgent matters. This starts with creating a mental or first creation before the physical or second one. The construction of a house or creating good relationships both require this step. There's a mental or first creation, and a physical or second creation to all things. It involves visualizing the desired outcome and the life you want to create, including how your actions affect others. This process requires aligning with your deep values and proactively designing your life instead of reacting to circumstance. I can live out of my imagination instead of my memory. I can tie myself to my limitless potential instead of my limiting past. I can become my own first creator. The power of a personal mission statement. A personal mission statement acts as a personal constitution, outlining values and goals and serving as a standard for evaluating decisions and actions. You could call a personal mission statement a personal constitution. Like the United States Constitution, it's fundamentally changeless. This guides individuals toward their unique talents and areas of contribution. This mission is detected rather than invented by looking within and using your conscience. Principle-centered living in the 4 factors. Your actions are defined by the core principle or values that are at the center of your being. Security, a deep sense of high intrinsic worth and personal security that makes change a welcome opportunity. Guidance, inner direction based on correct principles instead of a social mirror or external pressures. Wisdom, an accurate map of life that views the world through the lens of the balanced whole, both short-term and long-term, and taking into account consequences. Power, the ability to act according to values instead of being acted upon. Centers like work, money, pleasure, friends, family, spouse, and self may provide a temporary sense of security but ultimately fall short. These often create limitations in how you understand life, make decisions, and act. A principle-based center creates a more holistic and effective life. The importance of the right and left brain. The left brain is logical and verbal, whereas the right brain is more intuitive and creative. Essentially, the left hemisphere is the more logical/verbal one, and the right hemisphere the more intuitive, creative one. Utilizing both sides of the brain is ideal as it allows a better sense of what a situation calls for. The right brain helps us with visualization, synthesizing, and transcending the current circumstances. Visualization and affirmations, along with expanding perspective, help tap into the right brain. Effective time management and the importance of priorities. Effective time management involves organizing and executing around priorities rooted in your mission statement. It's crucial to say no to less important things to focus on your highest priorities. This involves both prioritizing and also having the discipline to execute your priorities. The essence of effective time and life management is to organize and execute around balanced priorities. Stewardship and empowerment. True empowerment and effectiveness comes from responsibility, not just control over tasks. Stewardship means handing over the responsibility of the task, allowing the individual to be their own boss and taking on the trust of the task. Stewardship means a job with a trust. I trust you to do the job, to get it done. This empowerment helps the individual take ownership of their goals. Building emotional bank accounts. Relationships are like emotional bank accounts. Deposits of courtesy, kindness, honesty, and keeping promises build trust. Withdrawals such as disrespect, discourtesy, overreactions, and betrayal lower trust. When the trust account is high, communication is easy. When the trust account is high, communication is easy, instant, and effective. Autobiographical responses, often well-intended, may not lead to deposits in the emotional bank account. It's important to understand what constitutes a deposit to the other person. Seeking first to understand, empathic listening. Effective communication begins by truly understanding the other person's perspective, before trying to be understood. You will never be able to truly step inside another person, to see the world as he sees it, until you develop the pure desire, the strength of personal character, and the positive emotional bank account, as well as the empathic listening skills to do it. This involves active listening and setting aside your own autobiography. This leads to transformational relationships. Win-win thinking and synergy. It means seeking mutually beneficial solutions and valuing diverse viewpoints. I can see that we're approaching this situation differently. Why don't we agree to communicate until we can find a solution we both feel good about? Would you be willing to do that? Differences in perspectives can be stepping stones for better solutions when there is an intrinsic sense of security. Make a list of people who irritate you. Do they represent different views that could lead to synergy if you had greater intrinsic security and valued the differences? Continuous improvement and self-renewal, sharpening the saw. Continuous self-renewal in the 4 dimensions, physical, spiritual, mental, social/emotional, is necessary for sustained effectiveness. Physical renewal reinforces personal proactivity. Spiritual renewal reinforces personal leadership. Mental renewal encourages creativity and problem-solving. And social/emotional renewal enhances relationships and empathy. As you renew your physical dimension, you reinforce your personal vision. As you renew your spiritual dimension, you reinforce your personal leadership. This also includes keeping a sense of humor, maintaining a positive attitude, and always taking a learning perspective, not fearing mistakes and their creative responses. Scripting others. We can choose to reflect back to others a clear, undistorted vision of themselves. We can script them to believe that they are worthy and capable of acting proactively. We can affirm their proactive nature and treat them as responsible people. The positive impact that we can have on others. We are not our feelings. We are not our moods. We are not even our thoughts. The proactive approach to a mistake is to acknowledge it instantly, correct it, and learn from it. Begin with the end in mind. There's a mental or first creation, and a physical or second creation to all things. Dependent people need others to get what they want. Independent people can get what they want through their own effort. Interdependent people combine their own efforts with the efforts of others to achieve their greatest success. The essence of effective time and life management is to organize and execute around balanced priorities. When the trust account is high, communication is easy, instant, and effective. You will never be able to truly step inside another person, to see the world as he sees it, until you develop the pure desire, the strength of personal character, and the positive emotional bank account, as well as the empathic listening skills to do it. These excerpts from the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People outline a path toward personal effectiveness through a principle-centered approach. The book emphasizes self-awareness, proactivity, the importance of values, and the power of empathetic communication in building effective relationships. It calls for a constant process of learning, growing and self-renewal to lead a meaningful life that aligns with inner values. The path requires moving from dependence to independence to interdependence for achieving truly effective and fulfilling outcomes.